What is up? Welcome to the third episode of the Start podcast. I'm your host, Brady Silverwood. If you've listened to some of the past episodes, you kind of know how this works by now, but we started off by sharing a positive story that we hear in the news in the hopes that you can listen to it and feel inspired to do something positive in your community. So our story of the week today comes out of Roseville, California. I just found this on the internet today. It's an amazing story. It has to do with a cab driver that was taking an elderly woman. She was 92 years old, and she wanted to go to a nearby bank. And on the way to this bank, apparently she was telling him why she was going to the bank, and she said that this IRS employee had called her and said that she owed the government $25,000. And this guy, just the way she described the story, he felt very uneasy about it and felt like maybe she was getting scammed. So instead of taking her to the bank, he had her call the IRS employee to get some more information. And when they did that, apparently the employee didn't remember this woman's name and blocked their numbers so that when they tried it again and again, and then they ended up going to the police department and they found out it was a scam. So this cab driver, his name was Raj Singh. It's just an amazing story because his job was just to drive her. You know, it wasn't to talk to her, and it wasn't to go out of his way to do what he did. So I thought it was a really cool story. He saved her $25K. I've been scammed in the past, like when I was real young. Like I think it was a call to like my house, and something about me winning some free cruise trip, and I fell for it and lost like $200.
Yeah. Lesson learned is the IRS never calls you.
yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I thought that was a really, really cool story. Thank you guys for listening today and all the support we've had thus far. Today's episode is going to be amazing. I am like super pumped to have this guy on. His name is Ryan Westberg. So Ryan, like me, went to the University of Arizona, and with
Bear
one
down.
of his buddies, he went bear down, baby. He went to a semester at sea, and on this trip, he really fell in love with traveling, and he decided with a friend that he would start this T-shirt company. And over a couple years of doing this, man, he got to travel to, I want to say, over 80 different countries, do what he loves to do, which is travel. And he built a brand worth millions of dollars, and we'll get into all the success, but Serengetee was the company name that he built, and he just recently left this company, but we are going to get all into it today with Ryan, so you listening can have the courage to start on whatever you're interested in. So anyways, Ryan Westberg, it's so dope to have you, man.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for that amazing intro.
Ryan's also like out of a lot of people I know, you're just so modest. So like today I'm gonna brag about you because he's never the type of person to brag about himself. Cool, dude. So yeah, the fact that we went to U of A, I feel like we've like from the get go had that like kind of bond. Tell me about the semester at sea, and like did you know you wanted to start a company before that trip, or like was that ever on your mind, I guess?
It just happened like really organically, honestly. I didn't go on the trip being like, okay, I'm gonna figure out something, start a company by the end. It was actually just like I met my then now co-founder Jeff on the ship, and we had just seen like these incredible fabrics in the countries we were going to, starting with Ghana, and we were just buying them because a thing on semester at sea is you pick up like one thing and you'll get it from like every country, and it'd be like a way to remember it. People would do like beer labels and just like random knickknacks, and
Yeah,
like our
just to
thing
bring
kind
home.
of became
Cool.
fabric. And then by the end of the trip, we had this huge pile of fabrics from all over the world. We wanted to keep traveling, and then we also wanted to like give back to the places we had seen, because we had just seen like pretty immense poverty all over the world too. So we wanted to see how we could make some sort of impact and not just like only travel.
That's what I love too, is like when me and my friends started our company, it was just like, all right, we saw a trend, and it was more so like something in the market that was like, oh, this needs to be here. But it sounds like you kind of had that like purposeful mission from the start of like you want to support these artisans and help them in their local kind of small villages, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like the idea evolved a lot because it went from like working with just like charities and grassroots causes to like my favorite part was working with these artisans, and like even in Guatemala we created like a co-op down there where at one point we were employing like 25 people full time
Jeez.
just making like our Guatemalan fabrics. And that's like what I loved the most because you could see like the direct impact you were having on these people's lives where they didn't really have any opportunity or really like a chance in like where they were from. So that like it was a really fulfilling experience.
Yeah. So okay. So you get this fabric, and you come back to. Did you come back to U of A and like the trip's done before starting Serengeti?
So the idea really culminated night 111 out of 111 on semester
my
at sea,
gosh,
like
wow.
on the top deck. We're like, okay, we've got all this fabric. We have this idea. Like, let's just do it. What do we have to lose? And myself at the time, before semester at sea, I like who I was as a person was like very different, and my goals and all that. Like I was definitely like in Arizona, like I was in fraternity partying
Yeah,
all
me
the
too.
time, but
Me
I was
too.
like semester at sea is like
It feels like a different life now.
yeah, for sure. Oh my God, for sure.
Yeah.
But I saw semester at sea as kind of like where I'd be changing, and I was looking for like some change out of that. But never in a million years did I expect to come out with like a company. But going back to kind of like the inception story, so really like the day we got off the ship, we started to move forward with it, trying to figure out like how to make this a reality. And we were able to launch within 2 months of getting back. And actually, holy shit! Actually, it was 8 years ago yesterday, February 17th.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
So that was the day that
this was
you-
the first year I didn't like have massive nostalgia because
Yeah.
I've now almost been a year out. But
So that was like your first sale.
that's when we launched the website.
Okay. So tell me
Yeah.
about that process, just because like I'm very familiar with it, but a lot of people when they ask me how I started my company, they're really interested in like what I did first, for example. So when you guys
Yeah.
got back, was it like, all right, let's come up with a company name? Was it like, let's come up with a logo? What are we going to sell? How did that process
Yeah, so we
go?
knew we wanted to take these fabrics and make them into pockets on T-shirts. That was going to be our first thing.
Just sew them on?
Sew them on. So it was like a plain.
Yourselves, or were you going to get someone
We're
else?
going to figure that out at some
That
point.
doesn't matter. It's just the concept.
We had the
Got it.
idea. Yeah.
Cool.
And then the thing would be like, wear the world. We had the mantra down.
Amazing.
It just made sense.
Yeah.
And it was open for trademark, all that. Serengeti, we originally had it spelled the correct way with an I, but then we realized like SEO is going to be garbage. Also, there's like a sunglasses brand that had that already trademarked. So we're like, fuck. Back to the, sorry if I sweared.
No, it's all good, man.
Back to the drawing board. Let's brainstorm. And it was like a week of just trying to figure out something, but we could never agree on anything. And then Jeff, my co-founder, came back with like Serengeti with 2 E's. He's like, we're starting with T-shirts. This works, and then the rest is history. And
Wow.
but yeah, so I guess that's how we came up with the name. And then our launch strategy was pretty unique because this is forever ago at this point. 2012, like Instagram wasn't even like a thing yet.
Yeah.
Facebook didn't have advertising. Like Facebook was still like just becoming a thing.
And I think I heard too for your website, like probably because I use like Shopify and
Didn't
Wix. 'Cause
exist. No, we
I
had
knew
to
nothing of how to
hard
build
code
a
it.
website. Yeah.
It was hard coded. It was pieced together with like random, like payment processing was like a huge issue. Like it just
I'm
was
sure.
very hard to do.
So were most of your sales online, or would you do them like in? I don't
No,
even know how
online,
you do
online
it in
was still
person,
how we
you
were
know?
doing it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because I bet
later
they
did-
didn't even have was it Stripe,
Square
or
and
Square
all
and
that.
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, had no idea how to do that. But yeah, it was a different world back then.
Wow.
So another reason just to go
Stone
for it now.
Ages.
It's so easy now. You can get a site up and running in 20 minutes.
Man. That is awesome. So, okay, so now you got the website going, you got the name, got the products. How did
Yeah.
you, let's say, like make the first shirt? How did you do that?
Yeah. Make the first shirt. We were going to swap meets, and then we found like some sewers there. That was kind of like Jeff's side of the business at the time. And so we'd kind of like drop off fabric and some t-shirts and then come back a couple days later and they'd be sewn. It was not like a very technical
Yeah.
technical way, but I think the better story was just kind of how we launched on social media.
Yeah. Hey,
Just
let's hear
because
about
again,
that.
Facebook was like so new and we were like, we have no money. We can't like advertise. We can't do anything to really get the brand out. But what we did have is we now had friends on semester at sea scattered across the entire country at all the biggest schools. How do we get them involved to help promote? And we're like, Facebook. So we just went out to the semester at sea community and then obviously friends and family from home.
Which
Uh,
like they're already like you spent what was it 111 days with these people?
oh
You
yeah, it was
probably
like
became
family.
such great friends,
And everyone
like,
knew we were launching this. So we just
so
asked
they
them
all wanted to support you. I'm
in
sure.
some way. So
Yeah.
we're like, okay, we'll give you a 2-for-1 shirt code if you just post on Facebook like this thing about like what we're doing, what the company is, and the link, and change your profile picture to like our logo. And we thought maybe like 30 people would do it, but within a week, over 500 people around the country did it. And then
How
we just
cool
started
is
people
that?
we didn't even know that were
Wow.
just changing it because they thought the logo was cool. And then it went viral essentially, like if you could go viral back then.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we launched.
Wow, that's amazing. So before launching, because I mean, even in my own experiences, I feel like before you're about to launch something or start something, you think about all the things that could go wrong. Did you have some of that? Like
No,
the
we were
doubt
totally
and-
naive. Like we
Oh,
were
okay,
just
cool.
had no idea what we were getting ourselves into, and I think that's like such a key. Like just don't overthink it. You just have to try and like figure it out because
Yeah.
all those downsides, you'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is just that first step and trying it and going for it.
Were there some so that's kind of like your mental state. Were there like outsiders that kind of said like, oh, this is like a school project or something
Oh,
like
of course,
that?
even my own parents. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, focus on school. Like, this is cool, but you're selling T-shirts. You're gonna have to sell a lot of T-shirts to
What's
make
up?
this.
What's up, Ryan's parents? If
Yeah,
you're
no,
listening to this
they
now,
were very supportive eventually. But
that's amazing.
no, to start, of course. But
yeah,
I think that's how it always goes, though.
Yeah, and that's why I like to talk about that because, like, I mean, we had like even a customer. I remember like maybe our fifth customer said to us like, "Is this like a school project, guys?" So then me and Alan would always say like, "Oh yeah, this is a school project. Check it out."
Yeah, it gives you a chip on your shoulder though, and makes you want it more. So
Yeah.
I like the haters.
A little bit of that. Cool, man. So you're going through Serengeti. Still at U of A. Were you a senior?
I was a junior, so that was midway
Junior.
through my junior years when we launched, and then I had a full year and a half left of school.
Wow.
And that first summer is kind of when it started to actually like become something.
Yeah.
Leading up to that summer, it was kind of like I'd get excited if there was like one sale a day. I remember like, what's the longest streak we can go where we're getting like one sale a day.
Oh, that's cool.
But then kind of our breaking point was towards the end of summer when this YouTube star at the time, Jimmy Tatro.
Oh, I
went to U of
remember
A.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Tatro, dude. He was like before going to U of A, I would watch like his like fraternity videos and stuff, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do Greek life at U of A. This guy's hilarious.
I mean, at the time, he was like one of the biggest YouTube stars. Like,
Yeah.
before like YouTube is what it is today, where there are a ton of different stars.
One sec here. Sorry. I maybe just take off my messaging on there. I don't know. Okay, my phone's on airplane mode.
Phone's going off during your podcast, dude.
That was
It's all
messed
good.
up. Sorry about that. Well, yeah. So Jimmy Tatro was like you were saying one of the biggest
Like
YouTube stars.
and he was a year younger than me at Arizona, but we had a ton of mutual friends, and I told him like what Serengeti is, what I was doing. I just wanted to give him shirts to wear in videos. And then he like went above and beyond and like gave it a shout out in a video that had like 1 million views the first couple days.
Oh, how dope is that?
And,
Wow.
Yeah, I know. You shout out Jimmy and Christian. That was like kind of our tipping point that turned us into like a real company that like crashed our site, gave us more orders than we'd ever seen before, gave us the cash to like move into our first space and warehouse and kind of like legitimize everything right going into senior year.
Wow.
And after that, that's when we started getting like publications all over the place. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of when it became like.
So you're like
thing.
a senior in college, and I mean, your sophomore year, this wasn't even a thought. And
Oh, absolutely not. Especially
you're
like fashion, apparel is not even.
Yeah,
like
so
a
you're like a
question.
year and a half kind of into this. You're crushing it, publications. You just moved in a new like warehouse for it too.
Yep.
Man,
First
that
employees.
is like, that's blowing my mind right now. I'm just thinking of like, because my senior year was when I was first starting, and then that's wild. So you knew probably right then, after college, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I think my second semester, I think actually like we had gotten written up in Forbes, and that's when I was like, this is what I'm doing. Like I'm not gonna apply for any jobs, and I was like going into second semester, and I was like, this is it.
Forbes is like the one, like,
Especially back then.
Yeah.
It was kind of unheard of for like students getting in it and stuff. It
yeah.
was a different world.
I mean, just to tell you kind of like from my perspective how it was when I was at U of A in business school, like all of us, like literally everyone in the business school, like looked up to Serengeti and looked up to you, and like you guys were like the success story at our school. It was kind of just like, it's almost like that one runner, like once he kind of like broke that one time, no one knew he could do a certain, like, do you know what I'm talking about? Is like I think Roger Bannister.
Okay.
He did like I hope I don't mess this up, a 4-minute mile.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that right?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And like, is 4-minute mile, does that sound like, I'm gonna have to look
He
this
showed the
up
world it
after.
was possible.
Yeah, pretty much
I
it
know
was
the
just one of those
premise of
things.
what
Like
you-
after he did it, then like so many more people did it, and you were kind of like that for us. Like,
Damn.
oh wow, someone's been able to do this. Like this is pretty dope. Especially you got in like the bookstore too, right?
Yeah, that was like a huge revenue driver, and that was super fun because I could get like the entire school involved since Arizona was such a great place to launch something.
Yeah.
And everyone wanted to support. And then like kind of the hack was we were able to get on Bursar. So basically, you're spending your parents' money and without them knowing.
I
Comes
know
up as
I know all about that
bookstore
hack.
charge.
Oh my gosh!
Kids are spending hundreds of dollars on Serengeti instead of their textbooks.
So for people listening, if you don't know what the bursar is, pretty much like you get this amount of money. I think for us it was like $1,000.
No, I think it was like
$2,000.
$2,000 or something.
Yeah,
Way more than you needed.
and pretty much like the way they word it is like almost like it's like a gift card in a sense, but like someone has to pay for it, and usually these kids will just work up their, they'll spend the full amount of their bursar, and then their parents get a bill in the mail like once the school year's over. And like I just remember my freshman year, kids were like,
Buying
"Oh, dude, I got
TVs.
this laptop, I got this
Yeah.
TV," and I'm like, "Dude, like someone has to pay for this." But
Yeah.
that was kind of the cheat if you could get them to buy the clothing with the bursar. Anyways, that's epic. So, what, like, let's say maybe that first year, or even just like the whole lifetime of the company, what were some of the things that happened where it's like you guys really messed up? Was there any point where you're like, oh, we're like, done, like I don't think we can go on anymore, or like really in trouble financially?
There were definitely a lot of issues throughout the company. I mean, it went in total waves of highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But specific instances, I mean, there was one point we just hired like a lot of people, and so we kind of had to clear house at one point. That was hard, but I don't think there's ever like, oh my gosh, it always would feel like the sky's falling, but then like you figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm the person that always thinks the sky's falling, and Jeff would kind of be able to like take me off the ledge and get me
Yeah.
get me settled. But
Well, that's
but
good.
yeah,
What-
there are so
maybe
many
like
issues.
any embarrassing stories where like you did something and you're just like, oh, this was not the smartest move, or
I mean, we had a lot of issues. I mean, we started with 5 co-founders at one point, and then a year and a half in, there were 2. So I mean, that's like a whole set of issues right there. Or 2 years in. Yeah.
wow.
So and
So
these
you
are
s-
like your friends you're starting something with, and you're like, uh, kind of
So
figuring.
there's 5 of you initially from that first trip.
It was myself and Jeff on the ship, but then we had brought on other people,
Gotcha.
and nothing really panned out.
Yeah. I mean, it was just hard doing it with one other
Oh,
person.
yeah.
I can't
No, for
imagine
sure.
3 more because
Yeah.
like I think when you're first starting off, you just need to like make decisions and go. But like with 5, I feel like it would be hard to be unanimous.
Yeah, and
on,
there's no roadmap, so it's like, why not include other friends? Like, no one else is like
Yeah.
starting companies that you can like watch how they're doing it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like by the seat of our pants at all times.
Oh, that's kind of a good segue. Did you have anyone that like you had like looked up to that was doing it? That was maybe
Honestly, I
starting
think that's
business?
actually a place where I've really like lacked is mentorship. And like if I could do it all over again, I wish I had picked up like more mentors on like this whole path. I thank God I've had my father. He's been like amazing. And he's lived a very interesting life, a very entrepreneurial life. So he's provided a lot of guidance, but I do wish I had like more mentors growing up.
So he was an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
What did he do?
He had like an executive recruit company, and then got involved with like real estate stuff, but has always like just kind of done his own thing.
Yeah.
And wanted me to do not that, anything but that.
Really?
Yeah, he definitely wanted me to be getting a job, but he loves it now.
That's cool. Yeah, my dad is he does it's kind of real estate. He does affordable housing, and he's kind of always been that person that I'm like, all right, like it is possible, and I just wanted to follow in his steps of like just starting something. But he's been on the opposite side. He's like really tries to recruit me hard to join the family company.
Oh, that's
I'm like
funny.
the only one in the family that's not doing it right now.
Yeah.
But I'm stubborn. I'm like, no, like I like the there's something about just like starting something and like no one knows about it and no one is talking about it, and then just to go through like you were saying, the roller coaster ride of it all, and then finally it's like everyone is like wearing it, talking about it, whatever you start. But
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I mean,
dude.
I also don't want to like make it seem like it was all roses the whole time. Like there definitely were major issues, especially with like goods like clearing and getting lost and things like that. We had a huge like credit card fraud issue.
Really?
So we definitely had like a lot of issues, but kind of always had the mentality like we'll figure it out, we'll get through it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it's a strong mentality to have that, because you're gonna go through so many issues whenever you're doing something like that.
Now I feel like it's like giving me this armor. Like now that I'm a second time founder, like with this new company, I just feel like I've seen so much that I'm less phased by like because you're gonna get hit by stuff all the time, and I feel like I'm less phased now that I've done it once.
What do you think like helps you to do that? Just like kind of being able to see maybe the big picture.
Yeah,
of, like,
and
this
just
isn't
like
gonna-
confidence that like the information's out there. You can get through anything. Like you can figure it out, or you can find people that can figure it out for you.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was kind of similar to this, of like people think that entrepreneurs are like really, really risky, and like we do take risks, but it's almost like calculated. Like we don't try to do something that's going to be like, all right, if this doesn't go well, the company's crashes, you know? So like as long as you take like, I feel like small risks as you go on. It's like,
I think that's good. But I do have to say we took many farm bets.
all right,
throughout.
let's hear one of these.
I mean,
farm
any
bets,
time
yeah.
going into a holiday, like we were a bootstrap company. We never took any outside investment, no loans, no anything. So like we always had, like cash flow was always like top of mind.
Yeah.
So like holiday season, we want to hit our goals. Like we got to put our money where our mouth is to hit those goals, and we just put everything into our holiday POs and just kind of like
hope this stuff
yeah,
sells.
like hopefully it sells, yeah. Or else we got a lot of
I kind of know
items.
that feeling with like just the time, like to be able to like plan all of that. Because if you're a little bit off, then you're stuck with inventory, or if you
Oh yeah,
sell it too quick, then you gotta
yeah, and
be
then
able to
obviously
keep up with the
sales and all
supply and
that.
demand.
Yeah, you don't want to discount if you don't have to, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah. Like I said, pretty much Ryan and me got connected when my I think we got connected probably before we went viral. We probably messaged you for advice and stuff.
I think so. I remember when you went. I know exactly where I was when that was all happening. I was in Hawaii, like with my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, what is going on? This is crazy. I'm just like refreshing, like the rest of the world is watching you. I'm like, holy shit, these are the guys that messaged me like a month or something ago.
So it was that. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder. I'm sure we just like said how we were like inspired by you guys, and like we were probably like asking you for some type of advice. I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't remember
We'll
what
have
it
to look
was,
it
but
up
I
on-
remember like instantly going. I'm like trying to respond. I'm like, there's no way. And I think I
That
reached
they-
out to like a couple of friends that probably knew you. I'm like, give them my number if they need anything.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. We had like, I just remember this the other day because Marty and me did our last podcast, kind of like backstory on all the stuff I've done, and TMZ was calling us like 5 times a day for a week. Like,
So crazy.
Like, it was just nuts. We were
No,
getting
you guys
so
were
many
the
different
center of the
calls.
world for a period of time.
Yeah, so we got, and then I'd say like probably after that we hung out in LA when I came out, and we've been good friends now for a while, but yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that.
Not how we met.
Yeah. Damn, I just drew a blank there. Hold on. Oh, okay. I know what I was talking about. So, yeah, so I've been like following your company now for like a really long time. And like I'm literally wearing one of your shirts. I have a lot of the other pocket tee, like pineapple ones and stuff. What do you think like my favorite product is? And I still don't have one, but I just like love what the product itself like does for people. Yeah, so he has this scratch map, and it's like the whole world on this map, and pretty much once you travel a spot, it's really colorful, and then you'll scratch it off, and it's just like it's perfect. It completely fits your brand because you've been able to build this company and travel the world everywhere. And yeah, tell us kind of how you came up with that concept, and then how you rolled it out too.
Yeah, I mean the scratch map itself, like it had been done. We just kind of put our own spin on it because we're like, this is so perfect for our brand. But yeah, we launched that, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years ago at this point. But it became like a staple of the brand. It just fit so perfect with our mantra. Like we started with wear the world, and then travel more became like a huge thing for us because that was, it was true to the brand. It's true to like us. Like we were living this like digital nomad life, and so we wanted something where we could like scratch off the places we had been. And yeah, then we
what does yours look like? It
my
looks
scratch
nuts. I bet like you don't have many more spots to scratch off.
Plenty more. I've been to like almost 90 countries, but
wow.
I mean, there are 196. So
I'm not even halfway. How many countries are
I'm
there?
not even halfway. So
that's insane. Did you ever have a teacher named Uma Shankar?
I don't think so.
Okay, because her husband, I think, had been to like something like 170, 160. It was nuts.
That was a dream at one point, but not for me anymore. Once I was finding myself in some places where I'm like, do I really want to be here, or am I just trying to like get another like notch on the belt?
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, and then also, what was like? Because I remember you did something like so creative when you ran the ads on Facebook.
Oh, we just had these ads that would just go viral. It was
like
a
the timing or
something. It was a very fast paced like ad of like scratching and then rolling the map out. Honestly, probably a lot of people have seen them because they would get like millions of views. But it was crazy because they were ads, but the engagement was insane. Like people tagging themselves,
Yeah.
sharing it. It was like a whole thing.
I'm trying to remember. I thought like the targeting specific. It was like maybe they had been
I would
wanting to go on vacation or
Oh
something
yeah. With
like
Facebook
that.
targeting, I would go hard on people that were because on Facebook you could target people that have returned from trips like within a week or 2 weeks, and I would just spend so much money on those people because it was like guaranteed that
You
like
know
the
they like to
travel is
travel and
still
they
on
get
their
the travel
mind.
bug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do a lot of demographic and interest based targeting on Facebook.
That's amazing, man. That is so
But yeah,
cool.
just go hard on those around the holidays because it's such a good gift too.
Yeah. So what was probably like in your whole experience of running the company, like if you could say talk to a Ryan Westberg that is maybe just gonna go to college and give him some advice on like, you know, anything that you've learned through Serengeti, what would it be?
I mean, it kind of goes back to like the theme of this podcast. It's like if you have an idea, just start it. Like it doesn't need to even turn into anything to be like the greatest experience of your life. I mean, Serengeti, it was essentially kind of like a project at the beginning that turned in, like, took my life on a completely different direction and like kind of the ride of a lifetime that
Yeah.
let me like live my 20s like a dream.
Yeah.
And it was all just from just trying something new that was like outside of my comfort zone. And that it's led to so many opportunities just from trying. So I think the advice would just be try a lot of things and who knows if it becomes something. But at the worst case, you just put yourself out there and like went for it, which is just like really good like muscle to be working on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm such a fan, dude. Like straight up, like I've always admired you and what you've been able to do, and like the fact that you fit this brand around your lifestyle is what I love so much. And I remember when our brand was growing so much, we would have like so many outside opinions of like you need to scale it to this size and do this and that. And like I felt like you always had such a great balance in a sense of like you wouldn't go outside your brand just to make some extra money. It was more so like it always had to fit your mission and fit your kind of like lifestyle. So you always just stayed true to your brand, and I respect it a lot.
I
So.
appreciate that. Yeah. I don't know what to say to that, but yeah, travel is just like a huge part, and then our giving back and all that, and just trying to make a difference.
That's awesome, man. Okay, and last thing, I just want
Yeah.
because this is just like amazing, like absolutely amazing. With Serengeti, and I think you also said like with your maybe new brand, how many products have you been able to sell?
I guess like in my career, I figured out like over the holidays, I've sold over 1 million products online, which is like cool. I thought that was like a cool
Over a million
milestone.
products online. That is just like blowing my mind right now. I mean, because like when I left, we were at like 116,000 orders, I think. And I thought that was.
I mean, that is a lot though.
No,
That
but,
is
like-
so many. First of all, like don't
But-
say that's not a lot.
No,
That-
I'm just like I'm like
No one
thinking
can
like
even
10 times
visualize.
that like, and you just started with like shirts,
Yep. Sold a lot of shirts.
and that's why like I love this one so much, is because it's so simple, and people, I think that they need to come up with instead of innovate, they think that they need to like invent something like
No, I
totally
think
change the
simplicity,
game, but it's like
simplicity always reigns all.
unreal, dude. I love it. Okay, so we kind of finished off the episodes with just saying maybe one thing that you're grateful for or thankful for. So just because like gratitude, I
Yeah.
love it, and yeah, you can go first.
I guess what I'm always thankful for is just being healthy. I think that's the one thing. It's hard not to take it for granted when you are healthy. So just want to always bring that back in and try and like focus on my health and make sure not only my physical but mental health is strong.
Yeah.
Definitely have had issues over the years. So
Me too. Lots.
yeah, I mean, being an entrepreneur is really hard
It's
and
wild, man.
trials and tribulations, and
Yeah.
so I guess health would be what I'm grateful for at this moment.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of personalize this to the episode. I was thinking about it today, but honestly, having like people like my dad, or there was an experience where I had the Tom's co-founder come and speak to me in my class. It was study abroad, Buenos Aires, Argentina, with U of A, and then
Blake
just
Mykowski went down there.
it wasn't Blake, so it was another co-founder, maybe the first guy he had started it with in Argentina. And then to like have you and Jeff to like look up to as like these guys did it, I think that helped me so much, because like there's just so much. There can be a lot of, I was kind of naive like you, but there was a lot of outer doubt, and I didn't let that get to me, because I knew it could be possible, and I knew like I could almost relate to these people. Like you went to U of A, so I was like, oh, like maybe there's a chance I could pull something off. And also, I just thought of one story that I didn't share with you, but
Let's hear it.
So that was kind of my thankful thing. I was going to do semester at sea with Alan, and that was gonna be, let's say, my junior fall semester. And we got into the program. We were all excited to do it, and this was like, we were planning on starting Sunny Skirts in the fall of 2016. And then we got into this semester at sea program, so we're like, oh, whatever, like we'll go do this. And then our credits weren't gonna transfer over, so we had to like nix the trip. And because of that, we started our Sunny Skirts. So like, ironically, with you, if you didn't go on semester at sea, like who knows? And then with me, if I did go on semester at sea, who knows?
The bigger twist is not all of my credits did transfer, and that's the reason I do not hold a college degree. Is because of semester at sea.
That is a really good twist there. I love that. Well, bear down. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
I hope you all enjoyed listening, and see you soon.
Peace.